In this video, we will be looking at how to add a new client in Chintaro. Clients are all the people that we deal with, and each person must have their own client record. To add a new client to Chintaro, from the home screen, we click on Clients, then Manage Clients. This opens the Client Search screen. To add a new client, we click on the Add Client button at the top of the screen. This opens a blank client screen, which is divided into different sections. The General section on the left contains the general information about our client. The Demographics section here contains the demographic information about our client. The Income section is used to record our client's specific incomes, and, moving down, the Support Agencies section is used to record information regarding agencies or people who are providing additional support to our client. Up the top here, we have the Tags and Alerts section, where we can tag our client with certain characteristics. And below that, we have the Arrears Actions and Related Links sections. The large section on the bottom right-hand side is the Notes section, where we can manually record notes about our client, and also where the system automatically records notes about our client. We also have some blue buttons at the top of the screen here that will perform additional functions for our client. To understand all of the fields on the client screen, let's add our new client, Billy Bragg. When we're entering a new client, we start at the top left and work our way down, and we only enter information that is relevant to our organisation. If we don't want to use a field, we just skip past it. As we enter information, it will automatically save, so we don't need to click a button to save anything. So first, we enter our client's title, which has a grey arrow, and this indicates that it's a drop-down list. When we drop this list down, we can select Mr. We enter his first given name as Stephen, his second given name as William, and enter his surname as Bragg. When we entered the given name, the AKA, or also known as name field, defaulted to the same name of Stephen. But we know him as Billy, so we enter his preferred name in the AKA field. We then move to the gender field, where we'll select male. We have the ability to record where we're getting our clients' referrals from in the referral field. If we want to record this information, we drop this list down and select where Billy was referred from. This, along with all other drop-down lists in Chintaro, are completely customizable by your organisation, where your system administrator can add or remove options in this list. Billy self-referred to us, so we'll select Self, Family, Friends. Next, we have the registration date, and this is the date that our client first came into contact with our organisation. This date will default to today's date, but usually the registration date will be the date on the client's application form. If we want to change this date, we can use the calendar icon or type the date in manually. Next, we'll enter Billy's date of birth as 20th of December 1957, and when we press Tab on the keyboard, we will see his age appears below. Next, we select whether or not this client will be the primary tenant. In Chintaro, we must allocate one person in a household as a primary tenant, and all of the other tenants will be related tenants. Allocating a client as a primary tenant doesn't give them any extra rights or responsibilities in the tenancy. It's just the way the system works. We'll leave Billy as the primary tenant and have a look at creating households in a later video. The box underneath this is to show all other household members, and we'll skip past this for now and move to the address field. We enter an address of our client when they're not currently tenanted with us. So we'll put in 164 Bridge Road. If our client is currently tenanted with our organisation, we leave the address field blank because it will be updated later when we create the tenancy for them. Next, we type the name of the city, town, suburb of your client or select from the drop-down list. When we begin to type a city, town, suburb, Chintaro will suggest valid cities. We'll begin to type PARKV, and when we see Parkville appear, we can press Tab or Enter on the keyboard, and Chintaro will populate with the relevant state and postcode. If this address is the same as Billy's postal address, we can click Copy to Postal Address, and Chintaro will automatically populate the postal address fields. Next, we have two fields for phone numbers for Billy. If we would like to SMS our clients through Chintaro, the mobile number that we enter here will default in our SMS message. We can also communicate with our clients through emails in Chintaro, and if our client has an email address, we can enter it in the email field. Next, we have the Public Housing Registered tick box, which we can tick if Billy is registered with public housing. If this is the case, we can also enter his public housing waiting list number in this field. We now come to a number of drop-down lists that we can fill out if they're useful to us, such as disability status, employment status, or whether he falls into a particular target group our organisation is targeting, such as single mothers, homeless, the elderly, or Indigenous. Billy is homeless, so we'll select Homeless from this list. The next field is Band, and this is only used by Western Australian Chintaro users. If we're in Western Australia, select the band of accessible housing our client falls into from this drop-down list. We have a field for bank account to record our client's bank details, and the rent area override field is used in rent calculations, which we'll look at in a later video. At the bottom, we have the comments section, and this is where we may want to enter some comments if there's some other general information that we haven't yet covered. The comments section differs to notes, which we'll have a look at in a later video, so we'll skip comments and jump to the demographics section. The demographics section of the client screen is used mainly for reporting, including the NAHA report, and if this doesn't apply to our organisation, we can leave this section blank, but this information may be useful to have on our client's record. The car owner tick box indicates if your client owns a car, and this is useful when determining suitable properties for clients who own cars. The Australian resident box defaults to ticked or true. If our client is not an Australian resident, untick the box. The next two tick boxes indicate whether our client is a South Sea Islander or if they're Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander. Tick these boxes if they are applicable, or leave them unticked if they are not. The country where born field is where we select the country where our client was born from the drop-down list. We can select the client's proficiency in both spoken and written English from these drop-down lists, and his Aboriginality and main language from these drop-down lists. In the middle section of the client screen, we have the income section, and this is used to record all of the incomes that are specific to our client. When we're entering in a client, we might not know their income details, but if we do know their Centrelink reference number, we can enter it here and also select their rent assistance, CRA, from this drop-down list. We'll be having a look at the income section in detail in a later video about incomes, so we'll skip past the rest of this section for now. We can add support agencies that are providing support to Billy by clicking the Add Agency button here. Billy is getting support from the Smith family, and if we drop this list down, we can't see the Smith family in our list. But we have the ability to add a new support agency here by typing it in the support agency field. This is one of the few times in Chintaro that you can type over a field and it will save what you type. If we click elsewhere on the screen, we will get a prompt asking if we want to add this to our list of available support agencies. When we click OK, Chintaro will ask us to put in a default contact name, default phone number, and a default email address for the support agency. After we enter this information and click Update, we enter in any comments about what the support agency provides, in this case, providing counselling, and click Update again to save it to the client screen. We'll be having a look at other sections of the client screen as we move through the other videos, and to exit this record, just press Exit on the top right-hand button here.